Which one should I use? Green one? Blue one? Green one? Blue one? Green one. Of course, you might already be familiar that Visual Studio Code comes in a few different flavors. When Apple Silicon came out, there was 3 flavors: green, blue, and orange. Well, now we have green and blue. The green one is Visual Studio Code Insiders, and it has some really cool features that you should be using. This is not sponsored by vscode or Microsoft, by the way. I'm gonna show you a neat little trick that the latest version has. Of course, they always roll the latest versions into the regular version, so by the time you watch this video, what I'm about to show you might already be in the blue one, but still the point is that the green one gets cool features first. Check this out. We'll start with the blue one. Let's say I have some code here, it doesn't matter what it is, and I want to use chat with it, an AI agent or whatever. AI assistance, right? I open this panel up on the right. This is the one that comes with VS Code, and I can select the model I want to use. Here's some from OpenAI, GPT-4.1, 4.0, 5, Grok, Claude. Of course, all these models are frontier models that are paid. You have to pay for these. Pay for Copilot. I know there's also a free tier as well. But how do you host your own? On this channel, we do a lot of exploration about how to host your own, and this doesn't give you that option. Even if you go to manage models, you'll see that, yeah, you can do Llama, but that's very limiting. And this only lets you host local Llama. Llama running on this local machine. What if I have another machine that I want to host, you know, my services on, my AI? So check this out. Open the green one. By the way, you can download that. Just search for Visual Studio Code Insiders. Insiders. And make sure you spell insiders correctly. There it is. It's available to everybody. You can go grab one right now. No problem. They'll let you do it. It's free. All right, I got mine open over here. What's also nice about this one, as a side note, by the way, side note goes into this camera, you can also host just different extensions on this one and try out different extensions that you don't want to install on your main instance of Visual Studio Code. Side note over. All right, we're back here. Open up the side panel this time. See what I did there? Side note, side panel. Yeah, I deserve a thumbs up just for that, don't I? All right, forget it. Forget it. You don't have to thumbs up my stupid jokes, but hopefully this video is helpful. So check this out. We're gonna open up that same side panel, but here you can select Manage Models, and you have a different interface now. This is coming probably sometime within the next month or so, hopefully to regular VS Code, but now you can get it on the green one. So add models, and yeah, you have the same options here. They actually did have OpenAI compatible option. In the previous build of this gets built nightly. So for some reason it's gone now, but I'll show you how you can add it back because I've added Kimi K2 Thinking. Yes, the full one. And Qwen 3 Coder 480 billion. Yes, the full one, and I'll show you how I'm running that. See, all these are configurations that can be done through settings. So if you go to your settings, if you're using Windows or if you're using Linux or Mac, they all have these settings. You can go into it. Just the menu is a little bit in a different place, but they're all called settings. You can also go into it by pressing Command, comma on a Mac. Now, this is a UI for I don't know who wants to torture themselves going through this UI. It was nice when it was small, but now, good luck finding anything there. I mean, you need to know what you're looking for and just search for it. But I like to open up the actual JSON file. So you do that by clicking this button. So in settings, this can be local settings, workspace settings, or user settings. I have mine in user settings because I'm gonna reuse these settings throughout all my projects. The key that you want to add is github.copilot.chat.custom OAI models. O is open, OpenAI compatible models. So you want to add this section right here. Next, you want to add an object with the key being the ID of the model that you want to use. So this is the ID of the model running on the remote instance, whether it's hosted on a machine next to you or hosted somewhere else on the server that's capable of running K2 Thinking. Yes, the full one. I'm hosting this on Cirrus scale, by the way, and it is 8 H200s running this. You'll see how fast this is in a moment. This is 1 trillion parameter model, this K2 right here. So that's the key. And then inside the object, you give it a name, a friendly name. Then you give it the URL, OpenAI compatible URLs usually ends in V1. Tool calling, whatever the model capabilities are, you describe that here. Does it have tool calling? Yes or no? Does it have vision? Yes or no? Does it have thinking? Yes or no? K2 thinking is thinking. The Qwen 3 Coder 480B down here is not thinking. And then here is the fun part. Max input tokens. This is your context. This is how much you can send to the model at once. And this model, actually, K2 thinking supports 256,000. I'm gonna set that. And Qwen 3 Coder 480B supports 128,000. And max output tokens, you probably wanna just play around with that. I just have mine pretty low right here, but that should be enough for what I'm trying to do. Requires API key? Yes. Or if you're running it locally on your machine, you probably don't need an API key. So these days, I'm always flipping between models. GPT for research, Claude for coding, Nano Banana for image generation, VO, Kling, and Runway for video, 6 tabs, 6 bills, and counting. Enter ChatLLM Teams. One dashboard houses every top LLM, and Route LLM picks the right one. GPT Mini for ultra-fast answers, Claude Sonnet for coding, Gemini Pro for massive context. They recently added Gemini 3 and GPT 5.1 the moment they dropped. Create professional presentations with graphs, charts, and deep research detailed content. Need human-sounding copy? Humanize rewrites text to defeat AI detectors. Need visuals? Pick frontier or open source models. Nano Banana, Midjourney, Flux for images, Magnific for upscaling, plus VO, WAN, and Sora for video, all built in. You also get Abacus AI Deep Agent to pretty much do anything. Build full-stack apps, websites, reports with just text prompts, and deploy them on the spot. They have Abacus AI Desktop, which is the brand new coding editor and assistant that lets you vibe code and build production-ready apps. And the kicker? It's just $10 a month, less than one premium model. Head over to chatllm.abacus.ai or click the link below to level up with ChatLLM Teams. So to be a little bit more helpful, because you probably don't have your own instance of K2 thinking running on 8 H200s, I'm gonna start up LM Studio here to show you how this can do. Here's Qwen Coder 30B, and I am running this on my M4 Max MacBook Pro, so that model should fit no problem. It's just a smaller version of that 480B model. And I'm just gonna load this up right here. It's only 17 gigabytes in size. All right. Now that I have that running, let's copy this ID, the model ID right here, and go back to our green one. And I'm gonna copy one of these right here and paste it down here. I'm gonna use that key that I copied from LM Studio and use that as the key here. The name, I'm gonna say Qwen 3 Coder 30B, that's the friendly name. And the URL is actually gonna be my local machine, which is gonna be 127.0.0.1. The port for LM Studio is 1234. It's a pretty well-known port. And if you want to look that up, it's right here. This is the whole IP address right here. Tool calling false, vision false, thinking false. Max input tokens is going to be also 128,000. But if you're not sure, you can go back to LM Studio and just take a look at that model. And it says right here that the model supports up to 262,000 tokens. So I can actually bump that up, but yeah, you can do that. I'm just gonna leave that as is, as 128,000, that's fine. I may be wrong about the total limit the 480 billion parameter model has, and if you know better, just leave a comment down below. I thought it was 128,000, but LM Studio thinks it's 262,000. And it requires API key here is false because I'm running this locally on this machine and I'm not requiring an API key in my LM Studio setting. Now let's go to the code, and over here under agent, I'm gonna select actually ask first. If I pop open auto, you'll see that K2 thinking is available, so is Qwen 3 Coder 480B, but my new one is not from LM Studio. So go back to manage models and make sure that the check mark, well, it needs to show up here. It may still have a few kinks to work out. That's why it's still in the green version and not fully open and not fully released yet. So now that I've restarted vscode Insiders, now I have Qwen 3 Coder 30 billion showed up because it picked up the new settings. And you see it's grayed out, so I need to press this little eyeball here so I can see it. And now it should show up right there, and there it is. So go back to your code, select the new model, and now I can talk to it. Give me ideas on how to improve this code. There it is. This is running completely locally on my machine. Not too bad, right? Costs nothing. And this is talking to the LM Studio process that's running in the background. That's pretty cool. Now, if you want to run some really big models like Kimi K2, you can. Just gotta probably host them on capable hardware. And you probably could set something up like that. Yes, I'm looking at you. That's coming soon. Stay tuned. But right now I'm running this in Scale. So let's see how fast that'll be. I'm gonna go with Kimi K2 thinking here. Give me ideas on how to improve this code, and boom. Now this is a thinking model, so it's gonna think first. So it's gonna take a little bit longer. And boom, there it is. This is a 1 trillion parameter model that's spitting this out so fast. It is crazy. Wow, look at all the suggestions. Now, typically you can ask it, you can interact with the model, but you also want to use the agent mode, right? The agent mode will just do this for you and not give you suggestions. It'll just do it. So a new technique is first to plan things out and then to have the agent implement it. This is one of the ways you can do it, is you ask first and then you hand this over to the agent. So you'd switch to the agent and then you'd pick the model and have the agent implement these steps. However, you'll notice that if I select agent down here, my model is no longer available. And I think that this is something that the VS Code team needs to address. It's probably a work in progress. But there is the edit function. If you choose edit, then you still have all your models available. So let's go to Kimi K2 thinking, refactor the handle fetch comments code to be more efficient, and boom. Right now it's sending this whole bit of code, this whole page over to the servers at Scale. Kimi K2 is processing it with its 1 trillion parameters, and it's thinking about it, and hopefully it'll give us some suggestions and actually edit the code right in place. Now, the way I'm doing it right now is still not 100% local because the code is leaving my local network and it's going out to the cloud. However, nobody's keeping track of that. This is running on bare metal at Scale, so there's nothing keeping track of what you run. There's no logs that are keeping track of your code that you submitted to it. So it's pretty cool. It's more like a high availability option for those people that are looking to get more performance than they have available to them locally, yet still not give it to the big corporate overlords that run the frontier models right now. But the thing is, you have to make sure that your whole path is completely secure. So that's up to you. Oh, look at these NVIDIA H200s chopping away at my request. By the way, if you want to see more about that, let me know down in the comments below. And there it goes. Nice. Applying the edits and it's done. That is crazy. It's fast. Well, the thinking part, you still have to wait for, but after it's done thinking, just rip through the file, made the updates, and boom, there we go. So anyway, green versus blue, and green sometimes has cool features. Check it out. Not sponsored by green, like I mentioned earlier. Now that Scale cluster of H200s is running vLLM, which allows you to parallelize and run models, large models, very efficiently. I made a video about this recently. Check it out right over here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.